Japan, the land of the rising sun. Before arriving here in our UK camper van, I had a preconceived image of what life in Japan would be like. Busy cities filled with neon lights, people singing out of tune in karaoke bars, and eating sushi that's probably served by a robot. Don't get me wrong, Japan does actually have all of these things. But travelling the world in our van Trudy, it allows us to get away from the cities and tourist spots, and we get to experience and share a completely different side to Japan than we originally thought. Judgment prevents us from seeing the good that lies beyond appearances. Unknown. We spent the night at a roadside station and we're heading to a Japanese castle, our first Japanese castle here in Japan. The weather's taking a slight change and it's a little bit cloudy and grey today, but it's still very muggy. Just getting our first glimpse of the castle on top of the hill there.
In amongst all the wires.
There's one thing Japan has, is a lot of overhead wires. Oh, this is a pretty town, look at that.
This is just unbelievably beautiful.
Okay.
Little overhanging.
I think 200 meters, if we turn left, I think there should be a car park. So next left.
Turn left.
I think there's another car park at the top. Oh, there's the castle up there.
It's going to be a bit of a walk.
There is actually a road up to the castle, but we decided, looking online, it looks far too small for Trudy. So we're going to walk up, get our morning exercise. Right, I think let's get up that hill. I think in 15-20 minutes we'll be up there. But one thing that amazes me about these towns is they're so quiet.
Japan generally is quiet, even with the electric vehicles.
It's quite hard for us because we're not.
Speak for yourself.
See how quiet it is. It's just like a couple of cars. And that's it. Like 10 in the morning and it looks like that.
Oh,
wow, look at that for a garden. That's stunning. So yeah, the route is we're going to go up here and then a bit of a winding road up to the castle at the top. So this is beautiful, look at that. It's hard walking around Japan to keep coming up with descriptive words that you don't keep using other than beautiful and wow and amazing, but it is genuinely. Even little back alleys look amazing.
It's pristine as well. Everything is immaculately clean. We have not seen any rubbish, and for a country, I've said it before, that has no bins.
That you can understand.
Yeah.
The big grand looking building there is a temple and graveyard. Wow. In case you're wondering whether it's as hot as humid and as jungle-like as we're saying, all of these massive bamboos. Look at that.
In fact, we weren't able to capture it yesterday, but whilst we were driving along, a monkey came out of the forest and ran across the road. And at that point, Chris and I were like, we're in Japan. We're in like
the jungle. We're in the jungle
with Trudy. This is wild.
Okay, so if anybody is coming in your vehicle, there is actually a car park at the beginning of the small roads. So yeah, we could have come up the first hill and parked up here. So here you go. We are there. So we can either go walk up the winding road or the long road. I don't know. Which way do you want to go?
The shortest.
That's going to give us a nice aerial view of the town, I think, at the top. Oh, it's just beautiful. We've got this sign in this pathway, and it's heading in the right direction. It's heading up the hill. We're not sure whether it's a shortcut to save us walking through along the road.
Let's give it a
go.
go.
I think we'll give it a bash anyway.
Oh yeah, it literally.
Oh, it is.
Oh, there's another one. I love this.
Oh, that's great. That halves the distance with all these little shortcut paths. Flipping heck, it's hot. It's just so humid. It's the rainy season in Japan at the moment. We haven't had a huge amount of rain, but it's definitely making it humid. I don't know what it's like in the summer. Probably very hot.
And obviously, as we're driving around the world, it's very tricky for us to time when we visit a country. So we just have to struggle on.
Trudy would have been all right on these roads.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure whether it's one way, because if you met something, it would be a bit tight. Okay, I'm hot now. I think we're nearly there, love. We've made it to the top. Oh, look at that view over the town below there. That's a fantastic view. Nestled in the valley. And then that is the amazing castle. Look at that. The Gujo Hachiman Castle was strategically built on top of the hill back in 1559. It was destroyed during the Meiji period, and the castle you see today was rebuilt in 1933. Unlike the majority of Japan's other reconstructed castles, this one was built out of wood rather than concrete. Approaching the castle, I thought how different this style of castle was compared to those we were used to back in the UK. So you can actually go into the castle, and I think if we can get to the top, it would be an amazing view. Oh yes, it's cooler. It's cooler. As soon as you come in, it's cooler. As we entered, we were taken back in time with a display of the castle's history and old artifacts. As we stared at the displays, I thought one consequence of getting away from the tourist areas is that none of the information was in English. Oh well, you can't have it all.
Worked out why they all train to be ninjas. Because these floorboards are so creaky, you would drive your guests crazy walking around.
You couldn't sneak up on someone.
You couldn't sneak up.
Made it to the top.
It's beautiful.
Look at that for a view. Absolutely stunning. And then that's where we parked. You can just see the top of Trudy and the solar panels. Can you see? In that car park there, I think I'm pointing in the right place. Just see Trudy. Okay, we walked back down. Look at this for a lovely aerial view, and we're going to go and just have a little walk around town before we head off south. Located in Japan's Gifu Prefecture, the town of Gujo Hachiman was founded back in the 16th century after the castle was built. With 3 rivers converging in the town, it is known for its waterways which still operate the same way as they did back in the day. Locals still use them for washing their rice, vegetables and laundry, although apparently there are strict rules on what can be washed where. Everywhere you go there's flowing water. It's a very cool little town. Look at this, how traditional is this? Japan never ceases to amaze me that all of these little towns that you go into just have so much character. Ohayo. Spotted a little alleyway that gets you down to the river. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? I'm thinking this route goes back to the main road. Look at these little houses. If you're looking for these walkways, just head down to the rivers. There's 2 rivers that meet, and it's just lovely. Just go down these little alleys. Sometimes they don't look like they go anywhere. This is one of the water houses in the town where it's pumped. You can see there's some washing up brushes. Isn't that cool? This is the other main river here that flows through the town. And you can see the fishermen stood in the river. Caught a little fish there, look at it. There you go. Those are the fish that they might catch here. Okay, a bit of good and not so good news. So first of all, we've heard that we can actually take a right-hand drive into Vietnam. And that's because we're from a country that uses right-hand drives as the norm. So if you are from a country like that, apparently you can take them into Vietnam. Okay, the bit of news that's not so good is that we've seen online that apparently if you've been to either Pakistan or Turkey, it can cause some problems getting the Chinese visa. I don't know whether this is true, so we've reached out to the Chinese tour company to ask them if they can find out any more information. Another thing is that many countries require you to go back to your home country to apply for a foreign visa. We're going to try and do our Chinese visa in South Korea, but if we can't get it, we may actually have to fly back to the UK to get it, which isn't a great option. It's been absolutely lovely, loving this town. And now we're driving about half an hour south to another cool little spot we found on the way.
Right. These gateways we're going under.
In 300 meters, turn left.
There you go. Do you want to know how far it is out the tunnel? It's 3,750 meters behind us and 850 meters in front of us, and we're at traffic lights. But it's cool.
We've opened the windows to blow the hot air out and the cold air in.
And it's working.
Yay.
So we just stopped off on the way because there's a very beautiful little pool near here. But look at that bridge. Look how clear that water is. 8 years ago, this pond was just an ordinary pond located next to the Nemiji Shrine. Then after a social media post, the pond became known as Monet's Pond, after the resemblance to the famous painting by Claude Monet. Ever since, people have come to visit the pond to see the koi carp swimming in the crystal clear lily-filled pond. It's funny how sometimes somebody does a blog post, a video or something like that of a pond and says, oh, it reminds them of Monet's Pond, and then over time it suddenly becomes a tourist attraction. Good morning. I don't know what's happened to the weather. It was supposed to rain today and it is absolutely scorching. It's really hot. It was really hard to sleep last night.
We have a thermometer in the van which died.
It's broken. It got too hot.
It got to 45 degrees yesterday when we came back to the van after leaving the van in the sun with the windows open. But we woke up this morning and it's died. My phone tells me it's 29C.
Ooh, and it's not going to get any colder
It's 10
for
o'clock in the
months.
morning.
It's 10 o'clock in the morning. But this morning we're excited because there's something else we really wanted to see whilst we're in Japan. It's the traditional sword making. We've come down into Seki, into the town, and there is a sword making museum that we're going to go and check out before we head south. That's cool. Look at that.
That is very cool.
Oh, cash.
はい。
Hi.
ごめんなさい、キャッシュオンリーで申し訳ないです。
Arigato.
The city of Seki is famous worldwide for the quality of the blades the swordsmiths make, using traditional forging techniques, which have been passed down through the generations. The Seki Swordsmith Museum displays the history of sword making in the city, dating back 700 years, as well as a wonderful display of various swords and knives that were made here over the years. If you time your visit right, you'll be able to watch firsthand a demonstration of these traditional sword making skills. Unfortunately, there was no demonstration for us today, but they have wonderful videos showing the process, where you can see all the processes of making from the scabbard to the sword. Absolutely fascinating. They actually make this glue out of rice to join the two sides of the carved scabbard together. It was really mesmerizing to watch, and as a fan of Japanese martial arts, it was an experience I won't forget. We were going to buy a little souvenir sticker for Trudy, but they didn't really have any big stickers, but they did give us as a gift this small sticker, which I'm going to stick here as a reminder of this day.
Wow, that's cool. This is really special for you, isn't it? You've really enjoyed today.
I just love the old Japanese martial arts, as you know, and sword making is just absolutely fascinating. Right, it's very hot, so I think what we're going to do now, it's very noisy playing. Doesn't it know I'm trying to film? So we're going to jump in the van, we're going to go to a store because we need to buy some more USB fans because it is so hot here. I can't have another night like we had. And then we're heading south. Nitori Megastore. Okay, we've got to be able to find a fan in here. Oh my goodness, I've got sensory overload. We made our way through the maze of madness and eventually found the USB fan section. How happy am I that they sold them? Success. A fan. More camping gas. Rehydration. As we continued our drive south, I thought back to what I had imagined Japan would be like before coming here, and how now, after experiencing life in Japan outside of the big cities, how different my impression of Japan is. As they say, Never judge a book by its cover. And that's exactly why we love travelling the way we do.